being, on stage at a bodybuilding show is not going to be healthy, and it's not their goal or their end game anyway. Mm-mm. So, it's important to get a coach and coach you through those things. So how do you do that, Connie? Tell us how you do that with your clients.
Well, so actually we have a lot of options with my people. We actually even have group meetings together where people can chat, and they see they're all kind of on the same journey, and they see the changes that are happening, and like they're able to communicate with each other, which is really awesome. But I also have to have little pep talks with my clients on a regular basis. We do a lot of photos as well. Rather than taking like weights and body stats and things like that, we're looking for things like, okay, we took these photos. Look at how much inflammation is gone. Look at how much smaller your waist is. Look at what your back has done. And a prime example of this is, I actually have a transformation photo somewhere. I'd have to find it. But I had this husband and wife team that came to me, and they wanted to lose some weight. And I set them up with some healthy food choices. They were very poor eaters. They ate terribly. Set them up with some healthy food choices, taught them how to start tracking their macros and things so they could have a little flexibility, but also understand what is in their food, like what has protein in it, what has carbs in it, what has fat in it. Anyway, husband loses like 40 pounds, like so fast, right? And wife is getting really pissed off because her husband is losing all this weight. And she's like, I haven't even lost 10 pounds. And she's so mad, right? Well, at the end, it was like, he lost crazy amounts of weight. I think his eating habits were awful, to be honest, because most people, if they lose that much weight, you don't want to force people to lose weight that fast, right? So I think in the course of like 8 or 12 weeks, she only lost 10 pounds. But in her progress photos, the transformation was insane. Like, especially in the back, like her back, when she started, had like lots of obvious rolls and things in it. And when she got done, there was not a single roll on her back at all. None. And I was like, do you see what's going on right here? Right. Like, this is crazy, the changes that you've made. And at that point, she all of a sudden understood, okay, it's not just about what the scale says. I was making progress the whole time, but I didn't know it because I wasn't looking at other tangible factors. And here's the thing. If you do decide to take photos of yourself, you're probably not going to see the difference either. That's where you need a coach or somebody that has an objective eye and can take a look at it and be like, okay, this is where I see changes, and point it out to you. Because a lot of the time I'll show my clients the changes they made and then they see it. But then if they had looked at that photo themselves, they wouldn't have seen it, because that's kind of part of the body dysmorphia thing, right?
Well, exactly. And you look at yourself every day, so you don't think it's changing. So you need to have somebody with an objective, opinion, just like you said. What I would like, Connie, is I would like you to share those photos with me with that husband and wife team, if you don't mind. Yeah. And we will put them on our edited podcast of this episode, so we can put them in the episode so people can see it. I'd also like to see the reels of your transformation, because we'll put a link in the podcast to that also, because that sounds super cool, because of all the, you went from 197 to 118 to 160. And I mean, that's but you still, like you just said, you still have a six pack. So, women especially need to understand that, the scale doesn't mean as much as we put emphasis on it. So there's just so many other factors. And speaking of transformation, you're talking about their back and back rolls and stuff like this, but as I mean, if you see somebody that's changed their diet and they're getting healthy, and they may or may not be losing weight, by looking at so many people now, I mean, even their face pictures, before and after, you look at their faces like, oh yeah, I mean, I can tell you were inflamed. I can tell you're eating like crap. And, I mean, you can just see it in people now, right? You can see when you look at somebody, it's like, even if you don't see their body, you see their face, and it's like, yeah, they're not healthy. I mean, you don't need any fancy tests to show that. I mean, it's just like, they're not healthy, right?
No, it's so funny. My eye actually now has become so sensitive to seeing inflammation or puffiness, right. That sub-Q type water that hangs out on people. Like, I can just see it, and I can see it the next day. Like, if somebody goes out to eat, I'm like, hey, what'd you eat yesterday? You know, like I'm so sensitive to it. I've become so sensitive to a lot of things. Like, I mean, I pretty much, when females describe their menstrual cycle to me nowadays, and then we run labs on them, I pretty much can tell if they're, I knew before I ever even saw those labs that maybe they're low on progesterone, or like in my head is just, it's gotten crazy how sensitive I've gotten to all these little factors that are involved in people's health journeys, honestly.